So far this year, there are already 4 heat-related or heat-contributed deaths, while 48 are still under investigation in Maricopa County. This morning, if you've been to the grocery store lately, you might have noticed there aren't really a lot of eggs on the shelves in some areas. That's because a supply shortage caused by the bird flu is driving prices up. It's happening at Caesars Superdome there in New Orleans, the All-State Sugar Bowl happening there, a college football quarterfinal happening in the city as well. Adds another layer, adds more context. They were saying there was already added security in the city because of course, a holiday and then a huge bowl game as well. We know at least 4 people were hurt during this incident. And it's important to know this area that we're in Terminal 4, it's not past the security checkpoint. So you don't go through security to get here. The SkyTrain actually opens up right near where we are. So this is an area that the public can easily access. Good morning to you. I'm Amelia Fabiano. Happy you're here with me to start off the second half of your weekend. Let's get you all ready for it with a quick check of that most accurate forecast. Look at this. Everything's all set up here this morning. We've got the ladies from the Cardinals cheerleading team. We've got Big Red. And check out this massive beast here behind me, the Prime Time Grill. That officer is out of the hospital. He was shot in the arm, but he's been released overnight from the hospital, and he's now recovering this morning. That suspect, though, is dead. These efforts have not stopped since that man went missing on Wednesday night after this partial building collapse. It's a dangerous and difficult mission that they are continuing on with now on day 2. So we do have an update to get you to here. Captain Todd Keller with Phoenix Fire Department joining me live here now. How did the overnight efforts here go? Where are we at this morning? And a lot of folks frustrated, anxious, trying to figure out what their next steps are. Some people have even been here since last night. I have Sarah Jomp here. I was just talking to her. You're trying to get to Austin right now. So tell me your story. When did you get here and what's going on next? Phoenix Union High School District, the First Valley School District, we saw responding to this executive order. Their superintendent sending out a letter to parents, just ensuring parents that school is a safe space for every student, regardless of their immigration status. But hopefully as the sun starts to come up and things start, they are opening the barricade now. So it looks like this very first vehicle here is about to go through the Lukeville port of entry. We're not far from downtown Phoenix right now near 43rd Avenue and Portland here, a residential neighborhood off the main road. You can see this home across the street from us has some roof shingles that are pulled off, a lot of debris all over the roadway here. Tree branches snapped, some trees actually down in the area. And this home right across the street, we actually just talked to the woman who lives there.
I've never seen it like this before. This is the first time something like this ever happened.
Marie Lopez waking up to all this damage as the sun rose.
In my shed that I have stuff in it, all that collapsed. The roof, the fence, everything. Wow. It's just scattered. We can't even get in there right now.
She says this storm started hitting her backyard hard around 8 Wednesday night.
And then I heard it like raining really hard and my son was outside and all of a sudden he says, "Mom, don't come out." And I go, "Why?" And then he says, "The trampoline just flew over." He says, and the trees were falling like this. I was freaking out. I was like, what the heck is happening?
An emotional morning as they figure out their next steps. Their AC out and window blown in two. APS line crews working overnight across the valley to restore power for thousands of customers. We even drove past 2 crashes at different intersections where traffic lights were out.
Our phones were still ringing after midnight last night.
We caught Derek Reinberg down the road from Lopez's house. He works with Priority Roofing.
I actually had a homeowner that owned 3 homes follow me on the expressway to pull me over because we're that overwhelmed with work.
He says this week alone, they've gotten about 1,000 calls across the valley. The force of the monsoon on full display.
It's God's nature, you know?
In Phoenix, Amelia Fabiano, ABC 15, Arizona.
This is fascinating.
Yeah, we know ASU's always innovating, but before we get going here, I want to show you something. It might not sound that out of the ordinary at first, but take a listen. Arizona State University is #1 in innovation. ASU is a comprehensive public research university, measured not by whom it excludes, but by whom it includes and how they succeed.
Wow.
All right, what do we think?
I have
Sounds
chills.
like me, right?
Sounds a lot like you.
Pretty spot on. Truth is,
Wow.
I've never said those sentences. That was AI generated Amelia voice speaking there. How creepy.
It is creepy.
Yeah.
Not that we don't love you, but it is creepy.
I know, but yeah, it sounds just like spot on. So a professor at ASU tells me it just took a quick search of my previous reporting stories online, the videos, 10 minutes of his time. And it created that near flawless impersonation of me reading the ASU charter statement, if you recognized it. And it's why he says we really need a way to prove that a voice you hear is authentically human and not a deep fake. who've told us about your phone scams. An unknown caller.
It was someone that claimed that they got into a car accident with me. Then they said that they were going to kill me. She said, let me talk to Peyton. And so he said, okay. And it was me and my voice.
Using fake audio of a loved one to extort you for money. Robocalls pretending to be an elected official, trying to mislead voters.
But by whom it includes and how
This is kind of terrifying.
In mere minutes, a clone created for ill intent.
That sounds like me.
It's really good at capturing these prosodic nuances, the rhythm of your speech. And it's exactly why we need technology to sort of combat this.
It's the age of AI. We hear your questions. How do we trust what's out there? Visar Barisha is ASU's Associate Dean of the Fulton School of Engineering.
The default to date has been trust. I think moving forward, the default is going to be skepticism.
His team is trying to find an answer by looking at what AI cannot do.
One thing that is for certain is that humans have a really unique way of producing speech.
The way we breathe, the way our hearts beat, the way we use our tongues and vocal cords and lungs. Monitoring them all is called tracking our biosignals. Barisha's team uses them to prove a recording is human.
What we've developed is a new technology that can authenticate the human origin of speech at the time of recording.
It uses a radar to grab your biosignals and a microphone for your voice. I tried it out with my own voice.
Growing well-kept gardens is very time-consuming.
So if it was artificially intelligence generated, you wouldn't get this vibration signal from the radar, and then you also wouldn't get these vital sign signatures, so you wouldn't get the heartbeat and the respiration signal.
And then my AI generated one.
This is now the AI-generated version.
Arizona State University is #1 in innovation.
Like before, we still get the signal from the microphone because that sound is still occurring in the space in there, but we're no longer seeing the radar or the vital sign signature underneath that.
A recording is then watermarked if it is, in fact, human. This invention is called Origin Story, and the FTC recently chose it as a winner of its voice cloning challenge. Barisha says the award was validation that this problem needs a solution, and their technology can be used in real-world situations.
Any sort of high-stakes communication that happens, so that, for example, media during an election year, or communications in the defense sector. Imagine the FAA talking to airplanes as they're landing, for example. So ensuring that those communication channels are protected.
An arms race against AI to sort out fact from fiction. All right, so the Origin Story team wants to keep working at this technology, obviously, to bring it to market. So they're going to work with top execs actually at Microsoft for help on this, which is pretty cool. And they want a share of $35,000 in prize money from that FTC contest.